Now on WJBF News Channel 6 at 6, racing towards the finish line. It is election day for the Democratic primary in the Palmetto State. Polls close in just about an hour. We'll break it all down coming up.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Wes Cooper. It's a pleasure to have you with us right here on WJBF News Channel 6 on this very eventful Saturday. Happy Leap Day. Coverage you can count on begins tonight in South Carolina. Voters have been at the polls all day today for what could be the most important day for Democrats in the presidential race. Former Vice President Joe Biden is hoping to pick up some momentum from today's primary. Today will be the last primary before Super Tuesday next week. It is expected to narrow down the Democratic field.
I don't think there's any number I have to have. I don't think I have to have
That's right.
win by 2 or 10 or, I mean, some polls are even higher than that. But the bigger the win, the bigger the bump.
National frontrunner Bernie Sanders left South Carolina earlier today. Right now, Bernie is in Boston. According to the most recent News Channel 6 Emerson College poll, Joe Biden has a double-digit lead over Bernie Sanders in South Carolina's primary, followed by Pete Buttigieg, Tom Steyer, Amy Klobuchar. Elizabeth Warren is in 6th. Bernie Sanders is off to some big victories in Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. News Channel 6's Ashley Osborne is live in the newsroom. Ashley, you talked to Senator Sanders about the battle with Biden in South Carolina.
Hey Wes, yeah, today's a Democratic presidential preference primary, but that does not mean only Democrats can vote, since South Carolina does not register by party. So Republicans can vote today. Some probably already have. And some Republicans in South Carolina encouraged others to vote for Senator Bernie Sanders today. Check out what this commenter said. He said, quote, "We all need to vote for Bernie Saturday. He's one candidate that we can beat in November. Republicans make the Democrats have to nominate him." We asked Senator Sanders about his electability and how some Republicans say he's easier to beat than Joe Biden.
If Republicans want me to win, that's great, because they're going to learn in November that that is a really bad mistake. We are beating Donald Trump in battleground states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and elsewhere.
Former Mayor Michael Bloomberg not on the South Carolina ballot. His camp says it's not going to make much of a difference since the Palmetto State is historically red. Now to News Channel 6's Ashley Flette, who caught up with voters.
Yes, Ashley, polls opened up bright and early this morning at 7 and will close at 7 p.m. We visited several of those polling locations, and some of the people working the polls tell me, despite predictions of a low turnout in Aiken County, people were waiting in line to vote when those polls opened.
One day you sit here for half an hour, get nobody, then next half an hour you might get 10 or 20.
Saturday called for primary voting in South Carolina, and those who made their way to the polls saying that now more than ever, change is needed. Can you at least tell me one of the things or one of the changes that you would like to see from your person?
Something done about guns. That's important. Anything, background checks or whatever.
Other voters say a new person is needed in the White House.
Beat Trump. It's my goal.
It's important, very important, especially this time. I'm not a Trump fan, and I want him out of office.
3 million people are registered to vote in South Carolina, but turnout here in Aiken was expected to be low. Still, the voters I spoke with say they were excited to exercise their right to vote.
Don't complain if you're not going to vote. It's a right, and people have died for that right, and we have to stand on that.
One thing these voters have in common?
I'm expecting us to have a candidate that's going to fight for the people, people's choices, different choices that we have to make in life.
Gloria Reynolds tells me she has high expectations, but the real question is what reality will hold.
You know, we're not going to always get what we want, but we got to do better. And right now, I don't want to talk bad to nobody, but it's just bad, you know. And we need somebody that's gonna, first of all, have respect, you know, and treat people fairly. I mean, no matter what race.
Count on us here at WJBF News Channel 6 to keep you updated with the latest results once the polls close. We'll have a live 2-hour webcast starting at 7 on WJBF.com, and we'll update the vote tally on our election ticker at the bottom of your screen throughout the night. Wes?
Ashley, thank you so much. President Trump was also in South Carolina. The president held a rally in Charleston last night. He had more than 10,000 supporters in attendance. Senator Lindsey Graham, facing one of the most competitive re-election races of his recent tenure, also took to the stage. During the rally, the president took aim at his Democratic rivals.
Oh, Sleepy Joe. Well, he's running tomorrow.
Presidential race, Trump won South Carolina over Hillary Clinton. South Carolina voters saw some changes today when they were out at the polls. The state has switched to a paper-based ballot system that allows votes to be counted both electronically and by paper. Election officials say the new system is easy to use and should not cause too many problems.
They'll get a ballot card. They'll take it over to the machine. They'll insert their ballot card. They'll make their selection similar to how they used to do it, except now they'll actually print their vote on a card and take it to a scanner so it'll be tabulated.
Bond says several candidates have withdrawn from the race since ballots were printed, so the Board of Elections has posters at polling places with explaining who's out. News Channel 6 is your local election headquarters with special team coverage of the South Carolina primary tonight. We will be live streaming on WJBF.com from 7 tonight until 9 tonight with updates from across the Palmetto State. We'll also hear from the winner and explain what it all means on News Channel 6 at 11. Former Georgia Congressman Max Burns announced he'll be running for the state Senate's 23rd district seat. The current occupant, GOP Senator Jesse Stone, has said he will not be seeking re-election. The 23rd district seat includes portions of Georgia's 11 counties, including Screven County and a part of Richmond County. And looking ahead to the upcoming week, early voting in Georgia begins Monday, March 24th for the primary election. Locally, you can also vote for the transportation sales tax to be extended. Both polls will be different this year. You'll use new touchscreen voting machines that include a paper ballot.
It gives the voter an opportunity to confirm and see for themselves their choices before the vote is actually cast, because you don't cast your vote until you put the paper ballot into the tabulator.
Early voting runs until March 24th. Georgia legislation filed a proposal yesterday that would reduce long lines at polling station on Election Day. Voting rights advocates have complained about long lines. They say the lines deprive some people of the right to vote. If voters have to wait in the line longer than an hour on Election Day, the new legislation would require election officials to take action before the next general election. Some bittersweet news in Augusta. A historic pecan tree has been chopped down. We're told the tree was at 460 Green Street, is one of the oldest and largest pecan trees in Georgia. Pecan trees are now known as slow growers, and this may be 200 years old. Crews started cutting the tree down this morning because of safety concerns. A 60-ton crane was used to lift the wood. Micah.
A really pretty day outside as we finish off our February Jiffy Lube Scabby Network camera here from the clubhouse at SRP Park, showing you some clear skies out there. Comfortable temperatures, a little cool, 56 degrees, and still sunny out there as the sun sets. So if you still got some voting to do, the weather is not going to be what holds you back. You see a little cold air still pushing its way down the East Coast. All this cold air going to push in here tonight. It's going to be pretty frigid out there, frosty even as we go towards the early morning hours. So coming up, we're going to talk about that, let you know how cold it's going to get overnight. But then on the other side, warm air going to be pumping in for us later this week. We'll talk about those warmer temperatures, and also once all that moisture pumps in from the Gulf, you know what's going to happen. Plenty of rainfall still in the forecast, which is not great news if you're along the waterways. We'll take a closer look at that coming up. Wes.
Thank you, Micah. New numbers are out tonight for the coronavirus. We'll have the latest on the spread at full forecast. But
the WJBF Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, brought to you by Jiffy Lube Multicare.
In life, there are talkers and there are doers. Mike Bloomberg has spent his life getting things done. Started a company from scratch, creating 20,000 good-paying jobs. That's getting it done. As mayor, he rebuilt a shaken city after 9/11, created over 450,000 jobs, expanded healthcare to 700,000, and raised teacher pay. Elected for 3 terms because he got things done. Mike beat the NRA, strengthening gun laws. He beat big coal, closing over 300 dirty coal-fired plants. Mike is still getting things done. So ask yourself, for president, do you want a debater or a doer? Someone with workable, common-sense plans to fix healthcare and create jobs, who's done both. Mike has the record and resources to beat Trump, and it'll take both. But Mike will get it done.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
We know exactly what winter is like around here.
A furnace tune-up by 1 hour heating and air conditioning can fix little problems before they become big trouble. The way I see it, you'll stay warm all winter.
Oh, you can see the future.
Nope, but I do see a furnace with a long productive life, and you might get a lower power bill.
Positive energy. I like it.
What's not to like?
Get a $165 preseason furnace tune-up for only $99.
It's just a call away. Call 1 hour.
You met on an app. Delete it.
Why?
He's the one.
Huh?
Gesundheit. I see something else. A star with 3 points. You're in a Mercedes.
We wish.
Wish granted. With 4 models starting under $37,000, there could be a Mercedes-Benz in your near future. Lease the A220 sedan for just $349 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
The Morris Museum of Art Gala.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Micah Rumsey here, Jiffy Lube Skyview Network camera from Television Park. Plenty of folks out there this evening. Hope you stay careful on the roads. Weather won't be an issue for you out there. It is cool. You'll probably have the heater running in the car. 56 degrees right now in Augusta, 52 in Aiken, 51 Saluda, a little warmer in Louisville at 59 degrees. So the temperatures out there feeling like February. Another dose of February here for you as we finish out the month. Now, as far as winds go, it's a little breezy. You're seeing them 5 to 10 miles per hour coming out of the northwest right now. They're going to start to calm down this evening. When it comes to cold weather in an overnight condition, you need clear skies and you need winds to really calm down, and that's what they're going to do later on. So as the winds calm down and the skies stay clear like this on the Live Viper 6 radar, we're going to see those temperatures really bottom out by morning. And no rainfall right now across Georgia or South Carolina. We are clear across the southeast. Now, but as we go forward in time, of course, the high pressure shifts over. You start to pump in warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. What does that do? It starts to form some of those clouds as we go through here on Monday, and maybe a little stray shower, especially for our northern counties. But as we head towards Tuesday, you'll notice more rain here in the forecast all along the system right here as we head into Wednesday and Thursday morning. More rain here along this cold front. So I know we've seen a lot of rain over the last few weeks. I just took a picture the other day and posted it to my Facebook account from the flooding down along the riverfront in North Augusta. One of the sidewalks completely underwater right now. So we probably don't need any more rain, but we still have some in the forecast, so you got to prepare for it. But tonight it will be clear, and check out these low temperatures. That is cold, 26 degrees below freezing tonight with clear skies. And like I said, those winds calming their way down. Tomorrow stays calm, but a nice afternoon, 64 degrees, sunny skies, a pleasant way to start off the month of March. And as we head further into March, here comes those spring showers and really some spring almost like temperatures. We'll warm up 75 degrees Tuesday and Wednesday, but you see the rain in the forecast there as well, and that lasts all the way through Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, we should be clearing our way out, and we see the sunshine return for next week. And there's still some relatively chilly temperatures there, but now is the time of year when we start to, I think, look a little too far forward. We think, oh, March, that's spring. It should be warm, right? We're like a month out from the Masters. We start thinking about all the warm weather, but we still have some cold days ahead.
Yes, sir. Definitely a good weekend to hit the course.
Yeah. I wish I was out on the course today.
Yeah, thank you, Micah.
Yep.
One person is dead from the coronavirus. The patient was out of Washington State. This was the first U.S. death from the virus. Another case has been confirmed out in California. That's the second one coming from an unknown origin. Oregon officials also announced its first possible instance of community spread. It's an employee at a school in that area that may have exposed students and staff.
At this point, we do not have widespread community-wide transmission locally. We have transmission that's associated with an outbreak at this long-term care facility.
While most cases appear to be mild, states are doing what they can to contain the virus, and as more hospitals gain access to the kits, the number of diagnosed cases will most likely rise. Some U.S. lawmakers are looking to pass an anti-vaping bill. What this means for the future of American health and consumerism when we return. But first, here's a look at your South Carolina winning lottery numbers. The pick 3 midday numbers are 518, and your pick 4 midday numbers are 1427. We'll be right back.
This is big, double dozen big. It's Captain D's new double dozen shrimp. Yeah, you heard that right. 2 dozen golden, crispy shrimp piled high on one plate. Time to double down when the captain is coming. Captain D's.
Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $3,000 bonus cash on 2020 Explorers.
This is an active volcano, and Nick Wallenda is putting nothing between himself and the lava below except a 1-inch wire. Chris Harrison hosts Volcano Live with Nick Wallenda, Wednesday on ABC.
It's time to go. It's time to save at the Rooms to Go 29th anniversary sale going on now. And get this, interest-free financing until March 2025. Yes, 2025. It's time to celebrate. Get 2025 financing on living rooms, 2025 financing on bedrooms, 2025 financing on anything starting at $599. 2025 financing, the easy way to buy furniture during the Rooms to Go anniversary sale going on now.
I'm Rick Busby with Busby's Heating and Air Conditioning. It's Free Furnace February at Busby's. Winter is the slowest time of the year, so we've created one of our best offers ever. Purchase a qualifying Carrier system from Busby's and get the air handler or furnace for that system absolutely free. Free Furnace February has been extended through March 15th. It's a great value. Busby's, your Carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts.
Give Busby's a buzz and we'll be there.
Earning on Daddy Clear. Don't touch it yet. Let me get the big one.
This one?
No.
This one?
Yes. No. The big one.
They're all the same size.
With Freedom Unlimited, you're always earning. Let me get them all. Let me get them all. Left hand side.
It's the darkest time of the year. Headlight savings time. And if you could protect the ones you love with a simple switch to whiter, brighter Sylvania bulbs, wouldn't you?
Welcome back, everyone. Today, the House passed a bill supporters say will help reduce the number of teens using e-cigarettes, a move lawmakers say takes a bold step to ban all flavored tobacco products. Raquel Martin has the latest.
End the youth tobacco epidemic.
In a rebuke of big tobacco,
on this vote, the yeas are 213.
The House has passed sweeping legislation designed to stop teens from using e-cigarettes.
A multi-pronged approach that tackles all of the reasons and ways that kids are using these products.
Pass this legislation for our kids.
Democrats Jan Schakowsky and Frank Pallone say the plan would ban the sale of all flavored tobacco products, including menthol cigarettes. It would outlaw online sales of e-cigarettes and force e-cigarette manufacturers to pay new taxes.
That then gives us the resources from a public health epidemic perspective to address this.
Illinois Democrat Sherry Busto says the tax will help the FDA regulate e-cigarette sales. 5 Republicans voted yes on the bill, which had overwhelming Democratic support. But a few Democrats worried the bill went too far. New York Congresswoman Yvette Clarke says the bill would have unintended consequences in minority communities, where menthol cigarettes are especially popular.
Law enforcement would have an additional reason to stop and frisk menthol tobacco users because menthol would be considered illegal under this ban.
Congressman Greg Walden led the Republican opposition to the bill, calling it government overreach that penalizes lawful adult tobacco users while ignoring flavored marijuana products.
But you could still go to the pot store and get this.
The legislation now heads to the Senate, and the White House says it will veto the plan. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
The White House previously approved legislation to raise the smoking age to 21. Some flavored vaping products were also banned. Still to come, high school hoop action as the Jackets and Spartans look to make the 4A state finals. Scores and highlights from our local sports teams next.
Another look at our rain chances as we move here throughout the week. You'll notice we finish out our weekend without much rain, but then those rain chances pick up for the middle portion of the week before tapering off as we clear out for next weekend.
Take yourself to the islands with Zaxby's Caribbean Jerk Sandwich with hand-breaded chicken, banana peppers, and the tropical kick of Caribbean Jerk Sauce. The new Caribbean Jerk Sandwich Meal and Caribbean Jerk Boneless Wings. 2 more reasons you're going to get a kick out of Zaxby's.
Spring and golf. It's coming, and so is Augusta's premier charity golf event, the Augusta Charity Classic, March 23rd. And right after, another tradition continues, the ACC Nashville Music Reception, all at the prestigious Champions Retreat in Evans. It is the best. Go to AugustaCharityClassic.com or call us here at Jim Hudson Lexus.
You want deals? This is your chance. Because right now at Milton Rubin Toyota, you'll find deals that are almost too good to be true. Lease a new 2020 Tacoma, just $189 per month. Lease a new 2020 Ram 4, only $249 per month. Plus, we pay top dollar for trades. So if you want to drive a brand new Toyota, stop what you're doing and hurry in to your whatever it takes dealer. Milton Rubin Toyota today.
DriveBaby.com.
News Channel 6, honoring Black history with this moment in the CSRA's hidden history.
On D-Day, Corporal Waverly Woodson Jr. saved hundreds of lives on Normandy's Omaha Beach. Now an effort in Congress is being made to posthumously award him the nation's highest award for heroism, the Medal of Honor.
The CSRA's hidden history is brought to you by your Augusta Aiken Honda dealers. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Oh, the joy and happiness that comes with buying a new home. But there's so much to do already. Go to Georgia811.com. Always go to Georgia811.com or call 811 before you dig. It's not only the smart and safe thing to do, it's the law. Georgia811.com.
Caribbean Jerk Boneless Wings are back with a blend of mango, habanero, and exotic island spices. And introducing the Caribbean Jerk Sandwich Meal with banana peppers and Caribbean Jerk Sauce. Caribbean Jerk Boneless Wings and new filet sandwich meal. 2 more reasons you'll get a kick out of Zaxby's.
The power of Live Viper 6 radar on the go. Get your most accurate forecast anytime with the Live Viper 6 mobile app. Download it now on the App Store and Google Play. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
Friday night, North Augusta Yellow Jackets were in Florence with hopes of making it back to the 4A state title game where they can defend their throne and bring back another gold ball back to North Augusta. So picking up after halftime, they're up by 20. They pick right back up where they left off. Kiana Lee, long toss to Talia Burns to Stresha Lee to 20. Then Shania Davis trying to keep the Knights in this one is going to get the 2-pointer, almost a 3. She knocks it down. That forces a timeout. But the Jackets, way too much firepower from last night. This time Lee gets into the paint, takes the contact, gets the and one. North Augusta getting it done on both ends. This time Erin Moore with the block, throw is up to her sister Lee, finishes at the other end. North Augusta gets the win 58-33. They advance to the 4A state title game, and their opponent is yet to be determined. Now, while Cross Creek advanced against defeating St. Pius 51-36, they get Woodward on March 6th in the state finals, while Saturday, later on, we got Swainsboro, Glen Hills. That's going to be a good matchup, picking up at 4 p.m. later on today. Now the Diamond Dogs in their first top 25 matchup of the season, and it couldn't have came against a more perfect opponent and rivals, number 17 Georgia Tech. So number 4 Georgia with only 1 loss so far this season, and they were not slowing down here Friday. Tied at 1, runners on the corners almost, well, 1 in second, and this one, Cam Shepard rips one right into right center. Georgia leads 2-1 now. Then Tucker Bradley with the bat flip. He lifts this pitch over the fence in right field. He smoked that one, boys, I tell you. And Georgia gets game 1, 6-5. Game 2 flips to Atlanta today. First pitch is set for 2 p.m. Now round 2 from the Honda Classic. 10th hole, Brendan Steele. Look at that camera work. I keep talking about it because it's beautiful, but that shot is also very beautiful too. That sets up a very beautiful birdie for steal, as that's only about 6 feet from the cup. Here he lays it in the hole right there. In ninth hole, right here, Tommy Fleetwood looking to get some share of the lead, gets the approach shot with a couple feet of the hole for a short birdie putt. Wow, right there by the pin. And 11th hole, Zach Johnson would get it going, trying to at least in a tough spot here by the water. He botches the chip shot. That would eventually lead to a triple bogey for him. So tough day of golf for him. Round 2 from West Palm Beach. Brendan still the outright leader at 5 under. Tied for second is JT Poston. And our local guys, Vaughn Taylor is +2, while North Augusta native Matt Neesmith is 3 over.
Thank you, Colin. Coming up, why this leap year is extra special for a veteran who proves you're only as young as you feel. Stay with us.
And we look at our temperatures here for the upcoming week. You'll see we're going to be above average most of the week on those high temperatures. The low temperature is going to be a big swing as we swing from below freezing to well above freezing and right back down to average.
Welcome to Tiny Stories, where we tell smiley, untold lottery stories from great people like Fritz and Junebug here. So, you guys won the lottery.
Oh yeah, we won 10 grand on a scratch-off.
Oh, looks like Fritz here couldn't be more excited.
Oh, he had work done.
Oh, that explains the...
Yeah.
It's gonna settle.
No, it isn't. It's not.
Share your story at tellyourtinystory.com, where tiny is big.
At Badcock Home Furniture and More, Joe found the perfect mattress, and Jill found the perfect bedroom set, and lamps, and rug, and more to go with it.
Badcock.com brings the store to your door with thousands of items to choose from, with hometown values, outstanding service, and no credit refused. Shop online or in-store with Badcock Home Furniture and More, treating customers right for over 115 years.
Curtain Call Interiors, located on 240 Davis Road, offers beautiful in-home fabrics with stunning window treatments, bedding, and more. Curtain Call is your source for furniture, lighting, art, accessories, wallpaper, and Hunter Douglas shades and shutters. Call or go online for a consultation appointment. Our talented designers are eager to help you with a beautiful new look for your home.
Working with Mike Bloomberg was one of the most empowering experiences that I've had.
It's important to talk to the people who know him personally.
I worked for him for 8 years in City Hall.
I've been working for Bloomberg for 27 years.
25 years.
Almost 30 years.
There's nobody that I respect more and felt more respected by.
Mike believes excellence is not defined by gender.
Mike builds a culture that advances women.
He's the first woman ever appointed to be counsel to the mayor.
He expects excellence out of everyone, but he also provides the kind of support that allows you to be that person.
Mike called to tell me you should be proud of what you've done and your name should be on that project.
He has faith in you. He believes in you. It was about always showing up and doing your best. I always knew that he had my back.
He was raised by an extraordinary woman. She supported him all along the way, and that's very much a part of who he is.
Mike supports women, he promotes women, and he respects women.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Here's your 7-day forecast. Sunshine, a beautiful day to start March tomorrow, but the clouds build in for Monday. We warm up Tuesday, Wednesday, but that comes along with plenty of rainfall on and off for the next few days before we clear back out heading into next weekend.
Thank you, Micah. A leap year is a special year for those who were born on February 29th, especially for a World War II veteran. He's 100 years old, but technically he's only 25. Today would be...
He's doing more push-ups than I could at 25.
He is. So today would be the 25th birthday of Jim Cordell. He celebrates today. Every day Cordell reads the newspapers and even walks his rescue dog, Monty. He can also pump through 15 push-ups with ease.
Impressive.
Yes. Well, that's our report for now. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to join us for WJBF News Channel 6 at 11. Have a good night.